investor. As a cultural investor, I invest in art, projects, and businesses that push culture forward. We're here today to talk about the Iron Man theory. The Iron Man theory is a mental framework that I built around everybody's favorite topic, AI. It was a joke. Keynote is a condensed version of a larger essay that I have. Connect with me after if you have any questions or skepticisms. My goal is to get you thinking about AI in a more meaningful way. So I want to start with a little backstory. Iron Man is a fictional superhero that fights bad guys in a protective suit. In the original Iron Man movie, Robert Downey Jr. plays Tony Stark, a billionaire playboy philanthropist who's on a weapons tour, and his caravan is attacked, he's captured, and he's held captive. While he's held captive, he builds a suit made of scrap metals and uses that to escape. Many movies later, Iron Man comes face to face with a hyper-intelligent, autonomous, self-improving AI called Ultron. Now, there is no Iron Man in real life, but I can assure you that there is a version of Ultron. No matter where you land on the AI debate, this is affecting your day-to-day. What happens when we reach the point of an AI that can truly think? An AI that can actually reason? How will you figuratively, or hopefully not, literally fight back? I want to take a page out of Tony Stark's book, and we're going to try to make our own Iron Man suits. It's a metaphorical Iron Man suit, so we're not going to deal with any thermonuclear dynamics. Our suits are going to be made up of 3 core components. I want you guys to repeat these with me. So it's knowledge, resources, and networks. So that's knowledge,
resources, and networks.
That's knowledge, resources,
and networks.
Any De La fans out there? You guys know 3 is the magic number? There we go. We got one. Growing up, you always hear that knowledge is power. And in this case, it kind of is. The arc reactor in Iron Man is what powered his suit. And your knowledge base is going to kind of function as your arc reactor for this analogy. You can think of your own knowledge base as your personal arc reactor. There we go. I wrote that better than I just was freestyling. It powers your understanding of the world and how you interact with it. Naturally, the more knowledge you have, the stronger your suit is. A month ago, I'm sure some of you have seen this, my feed was covered with the Studio Ghibli AI image transformations. And then last week, Google dropped their VO3 video generator, and I started seeing stormtroopers on the Death Star doing selfie videos in 4K. To say that this industry changes overnight is an understatement. It changes every day. Our next component is going to be your resources. So your resources are your technological and financial means that are at your disposal. Your tools, your capital, even your time. And I don't want anyone to allow a perceived lack of resources to discourage them from wanting to build and be a part of this. Your third component is going to be your network. Your collaborators, your mentors, your peers, the communities that you exist in and you can draw on for inspiration or for support. This is your human support system. It's an irreplaceable component that AI has not quite yet been able to solve. Even Tony Stark wasn't completely alone in that cave. He had help from a fellow captive in building his suit. You don't have to do it all on your own, and you really shouldn't. Having strong networks is what my tech bros like to call a force multiplier. Okay, cool. So you guys get it, right? Knowledge, resources,
network.
Knowledge,
resources, networks.
I love you.
Great.
Iron Man suit, right?
Yeah.
This framework is important more because of the why than the what. You can swap out these components and make it attuned to yourself, but the fact's going to remain that you need this suit. You need to be ready for Ultron. And this idea of Ultron can be scary. It's easy to slip into a doomer mindset. You know, we're imagining the worst case scenario. Every headline that you're seeing is borderline apocalyptic, and AI poses this massive existential threat. I want to remind everybody to take a deep breath and think about two things. One, we've been here before with disruptive technology. As long as we pay attention to history and remain proactive, there's a way forward. The second thing to remember is that panic and avoidance are not strategies. Neither is blind optimism. The key is intelligent integration. Rather than fearing or worshiping AI, we need to acknowledge the risk it poses and ensure that it strengthens us instead of harms us. We need to be focusing on AI uses that augment human capabilities and not replace them outright. To turn AI into an ally, we need to rethink how we collaborate with it. We have to stop outsourcing our critical thinking. Yes, of course, let's let it do the mundane and tedious tasks. If you start letting it think for you instead of with you, your cognitive ability is going to atrophy. It is your creative partner, not your autopilot. If it does all of the work for you, you're straight up admitting to the world that you're only as valuable as the prompt that you can write. I would bet almost everyone in here has a smartphone, and despite the cosmetic differences, they all basically do the same thing. Our phones come to us as clean slates with some manufacturer apps, but the onus is on us to customize and build them and make them the way that we want. AI actually represents the opposite side of that spectrum. AI is everything. We start with everything at your disposal. So when everyone has access to everything, what's going to set you, a seasoned professional, apart from a young upstart looking to take your job? Your Iron Man suit. I hope the Iron Man metaphor is feeling more empowering than outlandish. At this point, we know what it is, we know why we need it, and I want to leave you with how you can start building your suit. We want our suits to be something that's called anti-fragile. So anti-fragility, it's not robustness and it's not resilience. A resilient system can withstand shock, stressors, black swan events. But we want to do more than withstand. We want to improve when these shocks, stressors, or black swan events happen to us. Your suit will evolve to match the growing challenges that we'll face in the future. So first off, commit yourself to learning. No matter what stage of your career you're in, you can take courses online, you can fall into YouTube and TikTok rabbit holes, roll up your sleeves and experiment with the tools yourself. I personally started with ChatGPT and Midjourney, and I recently just finished vibe coding my first app on Cursor. Now, the app's not going to win any awards, and I have a new deep found respect for engineers. But going through that process allowed me to kind of get back to the basics and ask myself questions like, how does this work? What does this do? Why am I not getting the desired result that I want? Who are the subject matter experts that I need to be following, studying, and learning from? It allowed me to focus on getting up to speed, and I recommend you do the same. Figure out how AI works in your field. Figure out new ways that people are using to experiment with it, no matter where you're at. If you're in marketing, find out how you can automate your campaigns. Figure out how you can get real-time insights sooner. If you're in touring, learn about smart routing. Learn about a lot of the AI startups that are servicing venues directly. The more you learn, the more ideas you'll have for using AI in your own context. In tandem with learning more, you want to take stock of the resources you have and the resources you need to acquire in order to achieve your goals. When's the last time you sat down and really took stock of your personal network? How accurate have your budget predictions been? How are you prioritizing your own schedule? Follow this reflection with action. Build a tech stack that works for you, leverage free and open source tools to do better work or make that change to increase your earning potential and reinvest back in yourself. A common excuse you hear is, I don't have enough time. Time is our greatest resource and it's finite. You know, even if you have 5 minutes to put towards it, incremental gains are still gains. Tony Stark made do with scrap metal, and you likely have more at your disposal. You just need to be looking. To round it out, grow your networks. Do not build your suit in isolation. I spent a long time thinking of networking tips to share, but they really all just amounted to be kind. We're experiencing massive global upheaval, economically and technologically. Do what you can to find your tribe. Go outside, go online, but it is just important that you go. It costs nothing to embrace the mindset of combining your knowledge,
Resources and network.
It costs nothing to embrace the mindset of combining your
Knowledge, resources, and network.
Oh, you guys are great. I love it. It costs nothing to embrace the mindset of combining your knowledge, resources, and networks with AI to innovate. By preparing and weaving AI into my workflows, I intend to stand alongside the Ultron level AIs, using them as partners. We have the opportunity to harness AI in ways that makes us smarter, more creative, and more human than ever. I believe any executive, creative, or entrepreneur can make that exact same choice. The journey from cave prototype to bleeding edge is not a short one. It's a continuous grind of learning and improving. But the alternative to stay exposed and just hope that this AI whirlwind passes you by is not a viable plan. The world is only going to get more automated, more intelligent, more Ultron-esque. So Ultron is coming, or perhaps it's already here. The stronger our suits are, the safer and more effective we'll be. For Tony Stark, his Iron Man suit was never really about the technology. It was more about his ingenuity and his determination. Likewise, our own success in an AI-driven world is going to come about less from the AI itself and more about our human abilities to adapt and persist. So, consider this an invitation and a challenge for you guys to leave here today and start building your Iron Man suits.